So good morning to all of you. As we are in continuation with the lesson, the sermon at Banaras. As you know, India is the land of great saints, holy people who have changed their own lives and changed the people's lives as well. Getting my point, they brought a revolution in the thinking and thought process of the people. They proved themselves milestones, isn't it? And there are many great saints. India is a proud land to have given birth to such and great many people. Among them, we cannot count their names. Okay. So come see. Just it is a summarization. Gautam Buddha was a prince and his name was Siddhartha Gautam. In Sakya dynasty, Sakya, at 12, he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures. For schooling, he was sent to some Hindu scriptures. Then he returned after 4 years. Then he got married and had a son. What happened now? Once he was going for hunting. He saw a sick man, the dead bodies procession, and a monk. And the sight of these three things influenced him so much that he decided to leave the world, leave his palace at once. He himself became a saint, beggar. He was in search of spiritual knowledge. Then Gautam Buddha gets spiritual knowledge. He sat for 7 days under a peepal tree. Now it is known as Bodhi tree. Then he vowed to stay there. He received spiritual knowledge. Okay? He sat there for 7 days and ultimately he got this spiritual knowledge under this Bodhi tree. Fine? Then this tree is known as the tree of wisdom. Buddha's first sermon was given. Buddha's first sermon was at Banaras. बनारस में उन्होंने सबसे पहला अपना सरमन दिया. As I told you, the meaning of sermon. Sermon is the religious preachings. So it is, Banaras is considered, all of us know that it is the holiest, it is considered as the holiest city. Ganges is considered as the holiest river. And he preached his first sermon over there. This sermon has 10 important points. This shows Buddha's wisdom about sufferings. These points are: Tissa Gautami had an only son. He died. She took the dead child, as I explained, she took the dead child to her neighbors to make him alive. People called her mad. If someone carries a dead body with him or her and goes to neighbor and asks them to make him alive, is it possible? Never. It is not possible to make anyone alive after the death. Okay. Then at last, Kisa Gautami met a man. He advised her to go to Gautam Buddha. Okay. Kisa Gautami asked him to tell about the man who could give her the medicine to make her dead son alive. And that man showed the way to Sakyamuni, the Buddha. First of all, she met a man and she asked him that who could make her son alive. That man asked her to meet Gautam Buddha. Kisa asked Buddha to give medicine to cure her son. Okay. The Buddha told her to bring a handful of mustard seed. Yesterday I told you that he asked her to bring a handful of mustard seed, and she became quite happy that that would make her son alive. It must be but the condition laid by Gautam Buddha that those mustard seeds must be brought from the house where no one had died. Okay? No one had died. Fine? Means no son, no daughter, no father, no mother, no friend, no relatives at all. Fine. Kisa Gautami went house to house, door to door. But alas, to her disappointment, she could not find any house where there was no death. Means death had not approached her, the houses. So they told her not to remind those house members, those neighbors, those house members asked her not to remind her of the death of their beloved ones because they were already in grief. Fine? Kisa Gautami could not get the seed from such a house. It was obvious that she could not get such seeds. At last, she sat tired and sat on the wayside. Darkness soon fell. Now she saw the lights of the city. क्या देखा उसने? Lights of the city. They were flickering. These days, the houses or the road lights do not flicker because they are electrically supplied. But earlier, there were no electrical lamps, there were oil lamps. So she saw the lights in the city, the lamps were flickering. She considered and believed and found out the fate of the man. Now she realized what is the fate of the man. क्या था? She thought that she was quite selfish. How selfish she had been. Now she realized that death is inevitable. क्या महसूस किया उसने? Death is inevitable. It was common to all. Yet there was a path to wisdom, to knowledge that led men to immortality if surrendered to all selfishness. If we leave selfishness, if we follow the path of wisdom, we become immortal. It is in our hands that we can achieve salvation. We can attain the supreme knowledge. Fine. The Buddha told her that human life was brief. Buddha ने भी उसको यही बताया that human life was brief, short and full of sufferings, pain and miseries. क्या बताया उसको? That human life was full of miseries, pain and all those who are born ultimately have to die. What did he tell her? That those who were born supposed to die sooner or later. And he gave examples that ripe fruits are likely to fall earlier than the raw ripe. Raw means raw fruits, unripe fruits. Fine. So I believe you are getting my point. So he said, all those who were born were supposed to die sooner or later. There is one more example that earthen pots made by the pot maker, they are also broken sooner or later. Don't you know? You must be knowing that earthen pots also break down after some time. And so is with our life. Fine? These pots break after they are made. They all depart from life. A father cannot save his son. All relatives lament deeply. No one can save it. A father, not only a father. No one can save anyone. All the relatives, all the family members, they cry, lament over the death of their beloved ones. When the dead body is taken from like an ox for slaughter. See the comparison. When it is compared, when an ox is taken for the slaughterhouse, all the people in the house lament. So, suffering is due to death and decay. World is affected due to suffering and decay. Fine? And the most important thing which was said by him, that wise do not lament over any such grief, any pain, any suffering. Wise people do not lament over such things. Because they know the truth. Wise people know the truth. No one will get peace of mind from weeping or from giving. अगर कोई बहुत दुखी होता है, बहुत रोता है, क्या उसको peace of mind मिल सकता है? Never. If someone cries a lot or grieves a lot, he cannot get peace of mind. Isn't it? You must be knowing. It is the truth of life. So, on the contrary, the pain will be increased. Isn't it? It will increase. The pain will increase if one laments for the same thing over and over. बार बार किसी चीज पर दुखी होने से दुख और ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है. रोते रहो तो और ज्यादा दुख बढ़ जाता है. Actually, death cannot be made alive. Is it? Never. Death cannot be made alive. But who is of the lamentation and grief shall have peace of mind. Those who have kept themselves away from the grief, lamenting, there they can be saved from sorrow. Okay? So they can have peace of mind. One who has overcome sorrow will be free from sorrow and be blessed. So those who are away from sorrows, those who are away from lamentation, because they know the truth and they can have the peace of mind. Isn't it? So I hope you have got the summary of the poem. Fine? Summary of the lesson is clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Death is inevitable. It comes when it has to come. And if we lament and cry, that body, that person cannot be made alive. On the contrary, this lamenting and crying enhances, it creates the grief, it creates the grief more, it enhances, it creates the grief more. The intensity of the grief becomes more, and the man becomes more panicked, more sad, and there will be no result of any lamenting, any crying. So, lamenting and crying cannot bring peace of mind. Wise do not grieve or cry over the death of anyone. It is not wise, it is not wise enough to cry or lament over any sadness, any mishappening that has occurred to man. Okay?